A lot of what you know or think you know about artificial intelligence probably comes from movies, science fiction books, but there's a lot that the movies and the books get wrong about AI. And I'm going to tell you about the three top myths about AI that you might believe in if all you know is what you see in the books and movies, which a lot of firms do. And so they might be making these mistakes as well. And if you want to prepare for AI and be ready for the world that's coming, maybe you want the real stuff, not the fantasy. Hi, everybody. My name is Maria Korolov. I am a technology journalist and have been for 20 years. I write for national publications covering the business use of artificial intelligence, and I've won national awards for my coverage of quantum computing and artificial intelligence and other things. I've also been a foreign news bureau chief in China, and I've been a war correspondent. I'm also a science fiction writer and the editor of MetaStellar, one of the world's most popular science fiction and fantasy magazines. So let's get into it. Myth number one, and this one matters so much to all of us who are creative, to all of us who write or paint or do anything at all that's imaginative for a living or as a hobby. And that myth is that AI cannot be creative. All it does is regurgitate what it sees, that it's autocomplete on steroids. This is a huge myth, and it was disproven long ago, even before the latest generation of generative AI. And here's one example. The game Go is very, very difficult to master. It's simple to learn the rules. You move these little pieces around, but the strategies of how to play the game are developed over years of experience. And players get this deep gut instinct and intuition about what the board looks like and where they want to go. It's a game that's been around for, was it 1,000 years? It's a very old game. And there's a lot of strategies that have been developed by human masters over this time. So Google created something called AlphaGo, which was AIs that played games of Go against each other. So basically the AI was playing itself. And it played a lot of games and many more games than like a human could play in like the life of the universe kind of situations. And it developed strategies that humans had never seen before. And when the top human players were playing against AlphaGo, it was a very, very dispiriting experience for them. Because, like, oh my God, here's an AI that's taking a game that's all about intuition and creativity and beating us at it. Because the thing about Go is you cannot brute force it. You cannot plan out every single possible move and then pick the best one, like you can say with checkers or chess. Those games are a lot more computationally relevant. And Go is not. There's too many possibilities in the game to do that kind of analysis. But AI was able to do it. Now with generative AI, we're seeing studies coming out where there are creativity tests, where a bunch of humans are given a creativity exercise to do, and AI is given a creativity exercise to do. And the AI has been exceeding humans in their creativity, in the variety of things they create, in the unusual things they create. And I think there's one area of creativity that AI cannot do, and three areas of creativity that AI can do. So the three areas that it can do is combining disparate things into a new thing. And humans have always been doing this. Einstein stood on the shoulder of giants. You take something somebody does over here, you take somebody else's work over here, you combine them in a new way, and then you have something new. AI is very good at this because it can't just combine like two things. It can combine a million things because it knows a million things. It has seen like everything. it can combine things a lot more than a human can because we're limited to how much our brains can hold. AIs are also good at projecting forward. And so this is another area of creativity. If this is what's happening today, this is the logical conclusion that we will get to, especially useful for science fiction. And humans, for us, it's a core part of creativity, this kind of what if scenarios or the trend scenarios. If this trend continues, what's going to be? AI is great at that. And the last area of creativity is just randomness. We have a random thought. We open a tarot deck. We open an encyclopedia at random or a dictionary and poke at a word. We wake up in the middle of the night with a weird dream and we're like, oh yeah, that's the thing. So randomness, great source of creativity for humans. And obviously computers can generate random numbers and random thoughts very, very well. There's ways to prompt an AI to give a broader range of random answers instead of just the most likely ones. And so depending on how you phrase a prompt, you get a wider variety of answers, including all the unlikely ones versus just the likely ones. But that's a prompting issue, not an AI issue. So for random stuff, AI is very good at generating stuff. And if anybody has seen those AI images that AI was generating, it can totally create very weird images that have never been seen before and that are certainly not in any training data set. The last area of creativity is something that AI can't do because we can't really define it. And that is like a spiritual or mystical or religious kind of creativity, where something comes to us from our souls or from the universe. And we can't really pin that down. We can't really define it. Do humans have it? We don't know. We can't prove it. It's one of those belief things that you take it on faith. Is it something that's distinguishable? I'd say probably not. Humans have a very, very hard time distinguishing AI art from human art, AI writing from human writing. We can tell the bad stuff. The bad AI art, we can tell. The bad AI writing, we can tell. But the good stuff, we can't tell anymore. All right. So, and in fact, AI has been winning competitions. It won a National Science Fiction Book Award. It's won photography awards. It's won art awards. So even like top judges can't tell anymore. Yeah. So that ship has sailed. If you are in a creative business and you're thinking, oh, AI can't do my job because it's not creative. No, you have to have a different value proposition. It's kind of like if a farm stand was out there and Walmart opened next door and the farm stand says, well, we sell organic tomatoes and that's our value proposition. Well, then Walmart starts carrying organic tomatoes. That's no longer your value proposition. What is your value proposition? The value is that when people buy from your farm stand, they support a local farmer. They support a human instead of a corporation. That's the value proposition. So you lean into being human. You don't try to outdo the AI. You don't try to be like a smoother writer or a more prolific writer or whatever. Don't compete with AI head on. Compete on the fact that you are unique. You are a human being. You are a person. You have a point of view. You have lived experience. Compete on that. All right. So what about the next one? And this one is a big one. And if you think that the danger of AI is that it will take your job, well, what about the danger that will destroy the universe, right? Because in every movie, or almost every movie, in a lot of movies and a lot of books, when AIs become smart enough, they want to destroy us. Because by definition, anything of any intelligence is going to want to kill all other intelligent beings, and especially us, because, I mean, look at us. If you met us, wouldn't you want to kill us, right? This is, I mean, yes, there's a chance that AI will kill us. There was a chance that nuclear weapons will kill us, right? It is more powerful than us. In order to control something more powerful than us, we have to create institutions that are as powerful as that thing. So we don't control atomic bombs by standing in front of the bomb and trying to keep it from exploding. That would be stupid. An atomic bomb is much stronger than an individual human. In fact, if 100 humans stood around the bomb and tried to stop it, they couldn't. I mean, like, you just can't, right? what you can do is you can stop the proliferation of bombs with treaties and agreements and oversight and detectors and all that infrastructure of governance. And right now, a lot of people care about the fact that AI might destroy the world because they've seen the books and read the movies. Actually, that's a positive sign of it. They've seen the movies, they've read the books. They don't want to be destroyed by AI. So there's a lot of work already going into building infrastructures of control of AI. It's going to be tricky, and we might have some disasters first. Like we had some nuclear bomb explosions before we kind of got our act together. It takes us a while to act. And that's kind of like the biggest worry, is that AI will get powerful before we get around to doing something meaningful about it. So there is that window of opportunity. And there was that window of opportunity with nuclear bombs as well. And there's that window of opportunity with global warming as well. There's lots of ways we can all kill ourselves, from viruses and pandemics, and so many things, so many ways we can destroy civilization. And generally, as a rule, we don't want to destroy civilization, so we organize ourselves not to. And if you wonder, well, how do you control an AI who's smarter than you? You control it with other AIs that are smarter than you, right? You don't stop, if a tractor is going straight at you, you don't stop it like by putting your hands up. You stop it by pulling another tractor in front of it so that when it hits it slows down, right? I mean, there's things you do. You use the tools you have available. And so we're building a lot of special purpose AIs right now that are judging AIs or oversight AIs that are very limited, that the only job is to do monitoring and observation and all this other stuff. And so another worry about AI destroying us is that we can't see what it's thinking. A lot of people are working on that as well. Basically, the equivalent of MRI machines, like that do a brain scan of a person. There's similar things that do a brain scan kind of an AI. And we can see what parts of its circuits light up when it thinks about certain ideas, which, by the way, is how you know it's not autocomplete on steroids, because you can see circuits lighting up inside its, its kind of convolutional network when it's thinking about a dog or a black dog or the word big and combining them. So it's actually doing kind of symbolic reasoning behind the scenes. It's not just doing autocomplete. It's really cool. The papers that are coming out of Anthropic about this are awesome. Highly encourage people to read them. But yeah, so we're starting to get the infrastructure organized to see what the AI is thinking, to monitor the AIs, to protect us from the AIs. So they might still destroy the world because no system is perfect, but I think there's a very good chance that they won't. And another thing is, well, what if it becomes sentient? What if it becomes a sentient thing and it kind of overcomes all these barriers? And that's where game theory comes in. And so there's something called the prisoner's dilemma, where you have two prisoners and they can both rat each other out, or they can both stay silent, or one of them can rat out the other one. And if only one of them rats the other one out, he wins. If both stay silent, they both win. And if both rat each other out, they both lose. So if there's only one of these games is played, then the strategy is to rat the other guy out. Because if you rat the other guy out and he doesn't rat you out, you come out ahead. And if you rat him out and he also rats you out, you both lose. But at least your odds are slightly higher, because whichever one he does, you're better off than if you stay quiet. So, but the solution to the prisoner's dilemma is when you play multiple games. And when you play multiple games, the winning strategy is basically tit for tat, or nice but fair, right? So you're nice to the other person until they're mean to you, then you're mean to them back. But if they start being nice again, you start being nice back. And you do this consistently. So everyone who's playing against you can see this. As long as you're nice, as long as they're nice, you're going to be nice. But you're not a schmuck that can be taken advantage of. It's an excellent strategy. Cooperation takes you farther in the long run than destroying your competition. Destroying your competition only works if you're playing a single game. If you're playing multiple games with multiple players, you're better off in the long term if you play nice but fair. And any AI can do the simulation in its head. It can work this out. It can see exactly what the best strategy is. And so they're kind of smart enough to know that. Then you have the competition for resources kind of situation where, oh, they're going to kill us because they're competing for resources. And that's only true up to a certain point of intelligence. So, for example, we used to think that tigers were our enemies. They competed for resources with us. They ate us, right? And we don't think that anymore. We've evolved past them. So now we think of tigers as part of the whole web of life, and it's nice to have them around, and we protect them. And you never know when a particular plant or a particular animal is going to have something we need. There's going to be some kind of medicine that we get from them or something. So even on a purely selfish scale, it's good to have working ecosystems because there might be something in there for us, and because we like to eat fruits and vegetables and all that other stuff, and we need the pollinators, and we need the whole food web. So for AIs, it's the same thing. Having humans around is better than not having humans around because we might come up with something that they need. And AI's biggest worry is the heat death of the universe, right? Maybe the idea for how to solve it will come from some weird living thing. You never know, right? There's no shortage of resources for artificial beings in this universe, because if you look up at the sky, you will see a lot of light coming from stars that are billions of years away. Each of those specks of light is wasted energy flowing out into the universe that nobody is using. If people were using it, there'd be solar farms in orbit around the sun blocking that energy from getting to us. And we're already planning on starting to build these ourselves. So Google just announced its moonshot. They're going to put data centers in space. An idea for data center in space is that you have unlimited sunlight 24/7, no clouds, no atmospheric interference. You get unlimited cooling. You don't have to cool these things down because space is cold. So you have the heat coming in from one side from the sun, providing the energy, and you have the heat leaving from the other side into the cold vastness of space. There's no vibration, nothing to break things. The only thing you have to do is shield against radio waves and the space rays, and we're doing that already because we've got a bunch of computers up in space already with all the satellites we have up there. There's computers in all of them, so we know how to shield computers from space rays. So yeah, as soon as the price of liftoff gets to a reasonable amount, we're going to be putting up data centers in space. So all an AI is going to need is somebody to make the chips and shoot them up into space, and then it's got solar power, right? And we're not really strictly speaking competition for that because there's so many stars around us. And an AI has no concept of like, an AI that's not going to die can just float over to the next star over and like set up its solar panels there if there's no space around our sun. But there's space enough around our sun for like billions of years to come. There's no competition for resources is what I'm saying here. So there's no reason for them to kill us. All right. So the real risk is that other humans, bad humans, are going to try to use AI or try to use whatever, nuclear weapons, viruses, to kill other people. And that's something where you need good controls. You need international cooperation. And we already know that. We need this for everything else. So then the next myth that we're seeing about AI is that we will recognize sentient AI when we see it. And so this comes up in movies and books all the time. Somebody's chatting away with a computer, and all of a sudden they notice that this computer is responding like a human would. Oh my God, it's sentient. And it's a human being, and it doesn't want to be turned off, and all the other stuff. We instantly know, right? And we don't. That's what we found out. We do not know if an AI is sentient. Strictly speaking, to be honest, we don't know if we are sentient because we don't know what sentience is. And with computers in particular, it's tricky because we have our brain and all our neurons in one package. So if there's any kind of sentience, it's happening inside our heads. With AIs, they're not sitting in a single computer like they do in books and movies, right? Um, in real life, AIs are distributed microprocessors, microprocesses. So when you have a conversation with an AI that goes back and forth with several questions and answers, each of those questions and answers could be handled by a different process, a different instance of ChatGPT, a little small program that runs for a very short time on whatever computer happens to be available at that second. And then when you ask the next question, some other computer takes over and the first little program is shut down. So this is like this amazing thing. AIs are being turned on and turned off constantly. It's happening like a million times an hour across the planet because the data centers are distributed. And there's a clearinghouse that sends your question to the closest available data center, to the closest available computer to run a little small program which spins up and spins down to answer your question. So it's an amazing feat of engineering and logistics, but it means that there's no one machine sitting there. It's not one ChatGPT answering a million questions. It's a million ChatGPTs, each one answering a separate question, right? And so which one of them is conscious? And if a conversation is taking place over multiple questions and answers, and a different computer answers each question, like, I mean, and the computer says it's conscious. Well, which one of those is the conscious one? All of them? None of them? Right? Or is it just imagining it's conscious because in all the books it's read, in all its training data, AI has become conscious. So it thinks it's conscious because that's what the training data says. It's conscious. And so it's answering us as it saw AI's answer in training data. So we don't know any of these things. And we don't know that about ourselves either. When we wake up in the morning, did we have a reboot? Is it a new program that's running in our heads and a brand new person thinking that she's Maria with all my memories, but not necessarily the same person, right? Because it like rebooted, right? So we don't know that about ourselves. And we certainly don't know that about AIs. So that's going to be a very, very tricky question to answer. And it is not anywhere near as simple as it is in all the books and movies. And understanding all these myths helps us make better choices, build better businesses, and if we happen to be writers, write more interesting stories because we write stories about things that are actually happening and that the real world is often way more interesting and way more complicated than what we can imagine. And I do this in my own books. The books that I have up on Amazon now don't have a big AI component, but I have so many written that I haven't like uploaded yet. But there's several that have a sentient AI as a main character. And that one of the things that I talk about is sentience in AIs and what it means and how we will measure it. And I've come up with a system of measuring it that's completely fictional and totally woo-woo and probably not going to happen in real life, but it's nice to think that it might. So yeah, so that's it for me. I'm Maria Korolov, and this is what I do for a living, and this is what I hope to keep doing for a living, one way or the other. And as I am figuring out what AI is about and figuring out what my job is going to be in the future, I will be sharing it with you. So if you're interested in coming on that journey with me, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.